what's going on? Why is it doing that? Sometimes that's the other thing that's tough with live streaming is like it doesn't want to work in the right way or show you to people. And it doesn't like people will be like, "Oh, I'm being shadow banned." It's like, "No. It literally has to do with the software or how you have things set up." Cuz I think there's some people that are like, "I'm in zero view jail," or "I don't really get that many views," and it's like I've learned that sometimes it just has to do with the content that you make, literally. And then there's other times where it has to do with how you set it up. Like if you're uploading your videos from TikTok on PC, it just doesn't show them to people. I don't know why, but it's just like that. I think it's the way that they actually have it set up in the computer. But other than that, like normally I don't have any problems with people seeing the stream. Normally I don't have any other problems. Like, but today apparently the YouTube stream is just not it's not showing me to people. Don't know why. Like it literally showed me to 0 people, which that's not normal. Um so that's why I'm kind of come on. Stream. Let's figure it out. Cuz normally I've never had this issue. Like I think I've gotten more people on TikTok and more likes, but on YouTube like I've consistently gotten more people in the chat and more regular people that watch the stream because I started on YouTube with the streaming and I started in a different format. Uh, but then I figured out how to actually format the video and everything to mobile. And when you format it to mobile, more people will see it because more people are watching your stream like this. Like that's literally one of the things about it. And if you try to do the sideways format, it kind of unless you already have a following, it kind of lessens it. And then okay, cool. Let's see. So maybe just something's going on, and if I end up having to not deal with YouTube, it is what it is. Um okay. Play next in queue. Let me see if it's actually running. Okay, there it goes. So it is showing on YouTube. Don't know why it's not saying anything. Because normally it does show it to people. I like usually get way more views off the rip with YouTube than I do with TikTok. Usually with TikTok it's harder. Um so live, go into it. But yeah, I'm a hop into the live stream on my phone. Feel free to keep asking me questions if you have them. I know I'm just willing to talk to you guys while I'm figuring this out because I have no idea why exactly it just isn't doing it. But it'll figure itself out. I feel like it will. Let me keep looking more. That's crazy. The last time I tagged it, it didn't do it. This time it did. Because that was the other thing. I was tagging it, and it was doing pretty well sometimes. That was the other thing I learned is with like YouTube tagging it. They say it doesn't affect it. I don't know. I feel like it helps you get shown more to the people who want to hear what you're doing, especially with shorts. But on TikTok, it's kind of different. It's like it just depends. It really does just depend. And I don't know. I've been like growing on both TikTok and YouTube. Just things are growing. So I'm grateful for y'all for real. Um, yeah. What's good, y'all? Haven't even really. Thank you. Thank you, Cypher Ministries. Just been trying to get the YouTube stream running. Don't know why it's not running in a way that's working at all. It's like not showing it to literally anybody, but that's okay, man. I think once I start actually going and making something, that'll change. Not even worried about it. So, how are y'all doing? Now that I've got things somewhat set up and I'm just going to roll with it, we'll see what happens. I think what it is yeah, it just switches back and forth for me. I would say overall views, I get more on TikTok, and TikTok's been the only place I've been able to get donations or any type of money. So typically it does do better on TikTok, but I stream at the same time. So like I'm running YouTube and I'm running TikTok at the same time. And I'm able to pipeline the same exact video feed that you're seeing into YouTube. So usually with YouTube, I'm running so if you want to see the whole stream VOD, I tell people go to YouTube. Because TikTok, I think they just opened that feature up, but they typically don't. Like, it's like I have to clip it and then put a segment that I want people to see. Versus I think they literally just added the feature within like this last week or two. It's a very new feature. And I think there's some good with it. I also think there's just some like, I feel like TikTok, if you're not making videos that fit a certain niche or like certain amount of people, they don't show you to people. But when it comes to YouTube, it's like they give you more reach on the shorts. They really do. Like I've noticed I get way more reach on YouTube but I get more growth. I don't know. It's like I feel like it's pretty equal. Like there's certain videos on TikTok that just kaboom, like it just goes. And then on YouTube, it's like more slow. It's like a slow growth, but it's people that'll stick around. So they're like different games. And I learned with YouTube, it's like if I'm not constantly like spamming, it's fine. But with TikTok, if I like constantly spam, it doesn't matter. With YouTube, the thing I've learned is niching down, like being specific. Like TikTok, I feel like you can be a little bit more random between a few topics, but with YouTube, if you are very, very specific about what you post, like with Songwriter support, I will usually use TikTok to test my stuff. And then whatever does best and is kind of shorter, I put it on YouTube. Because YouTube, I'm more subscribers there, but that's because I started building on YouTube. And the consistency model still works. But with music with YouTube, it's more tough. It really is more tough. With TikTok, it's kind of like you just can throw stuff at the wall and then whatever performs best, you can yeah, I haven't really been using Facebook in a while. Like I just stopped using Instagram and Facebook. I just haven't like I felt like it might be a good thing for me to get back on there. Cuz when I tried getting back on there, man, people were grilling me, dude. And I think it was because I was trying to run ads at that time, just trying to build something, and it just wasn't the right time. They're like, "What songs have you made? What credibility do you have?" I'm like, I've made hundreds of songs, but I wasn't making the Myra and the Disciple stuff yet. So I didn't have a catalog of stuff that people could see. But it might be worth actually me going back into Instagram, or just seeing what's going on with YouTube. Like, because I have no idea why YouTube is literally not showing me to anybody right now. It's kind of strange. Because normally, even with this format, they do. They like show me to people. Maybe I just need to like post it or like go onto my YouTube page real quick and share it to create a post. I am live now. Because, yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like streaming on there, but normally I get pretty decent streams on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe it's because on one of my posts I said that I don't I don't necessarily trust the government. It's possible. But you know, that could be a possibility. I wouldn't put it past me. At the same time, I don't care. I think what's important is like, you know, how do I connect with people where it matters? I mean, dude, you recognize real quick that like you should be mindful about what you say on here because there are terms of service. And I think this past week has shown me that too. Like what you say and what you do, it's important. It's absolutely important. Um, yeah, it's saying that I have good connectivity. I think they're just, I don't know, something's going on. Um, and maybe it's just worth looking into to see real quick because it's still kind of not showing me to even like one person. But I have stream every Wednesday consistently, and it's working. And I went to the manage videos, I tagged it, I did all the things I normally do. But it might not pop off till like later in the evening. That's possible. Sometimes it does that where it like won't actually pop off or show it to people later until later. But last week I got about 128 views and 6 likes, and normally it does pretty well. In case you're listening, Uncle Sam. Yeah, right. Nah, dude, I'm gonna stand 10 on it. I believe more in God than I do in our government at this point, and I recognize that there's powers and principalities at play, and I think it, at this point, it's shown me that. It's shown me how much I really don't know, and that I bet you if you say something like inflammatory or provocative, it's actually gonna get more people. That's just the truth of the matter. It almost doesn't matter what platform. As long as you don't talk about you know what country I'm talking about. As long as you don't talk too deeply about that country, it will typically go pretty well for you. I've noticed that. That's been a very interesting thought recently, is like if the bills that have been passed, I've had some questions. I've just had a lot of questions. Like that's been my main thing, is like, why can't we talk about certain things? And if, it's interesting. Like you can criticize. Right, exactly. Right. I feel the same way. I feel like they want people to keep it open. However, though, there are certain topics you cannot openly talk about on here or any other platform. If and one of them, it's a certain country. It's a certain country. And if you talk about them, especially now that some of our politicians supposedly are going to be flying over there and kissing the wall, like 250 of them, and you start talking about it and you start noticing like, hey, I don't think they should have this much influence on our government right now, and we need to focus on us and the homeless people around here and the people struggling around here in the church. But if you start, and that's all I've been saying, is I've noticed that like there's a lot that you can't prove, but there's a lot of things that when you see the evidence of what's already being shown, and that the fact that you can't talk about them, I already have questions. I already have questions. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm shadow banned. Dude, I don't even have 1,000 followers across, like, I maybe have 1,000 followers collectively across all of my social media. So I don't think there's anything like that that's going on. But I've recognized over this past week, and after looking at everything, I'm questioning exactly how the government is moving right now and everything that's going on, and that I trust more in God than our government, and that genuinely what had happened with Charlie Kirk, I think that I looked back at his past, like the few days before that happened. I looked back at everything he had said within, like, not everything, but a lot of things he has said within the last 6 months. And I think that he was questioning some of the stances he had had about what's going on. The UN had noted what is, like, I think as of today, had noted what has been going on in that country, or, in Gaza. Yes, it does. It does rhyme with them. And it is very real. And the UN had noted that as a type of side, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that, like, if you even talk, you even so much as talk about that it becomes a problem. And there's just a lot of things that aren't adding up right now that I have questions about. But I'm not going to listen to everybody who's going to blame them, or everybody who, it. All I'm going to say is it's crazy to think that in this day and age, Nick Fuentes was one of the more rational people in this situation. Like, that's a scary thing to think about. Is like, when I started hearing what he had to say, is he didn't even fully believe, and I'm with him on that. I don't fully believe they were involved in all of this. I don't have enough evidence to prove that, but everything that had happened, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything that had happened, I'm kind of like, like, I'm just sitting back like, oh, it's almost getting too biblical. Like, if people don't believe at this point that Jesus Christ is coming back, um, like the thing that happened where they said that he was in Egypt, like that happened a few months ago, where they were like, "Oh, we supposedly found Jesus in Egypt," and and he literally said that in the word, like it said in the word. I was like, "What?" Like, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like I'm saying too much already. And I'm just glad to hear that, because I think that most Christians, right? Like, when you get into the topic of dispensationalism and you start to recognize that there's issues with that, there's issues. You start to recognize that it's like we can disagree with a government. It's true. And I think we should. Because I think that deep down we can know when it's morally wrong. And even if Charlie Kirk had backers that were from there, I think he started to recognize that he didn't take the Netanyahu money. He didn't. He didn't take the trip to there. Even though he had been for a long time. I think that's what's important about repentance here. Is like, dude, literally, it could be one day you just wake up and boom, you change your mind. You change your mind about everything that you believe. And it doesn't mean that you come from a place of hatred. You just question everything that you believed already. What's good? What is good? So, I think that's a very important thought that I've been having recently, and just like not trying to go too far in the deep end with it. Like recently, like, because you start digging in that rabbit hole, you might look into the abyss. Like, you start asking so many questions about everything, and then you don't even enjoy your life anymore. And I think that's important with all of this. Is like, you can love a country without supporting what their government is saying all the time and everything that's wrong with how their government is moving. I think it's the same thing with America. Like, I love America because I love y'all. Like, I love the people here. I love the community that is built here. I love how much growth I've seen as a person and me living here. But do I agree with the government? No, because I don't agree with the way that they are choosing to stand. And I recognize that this could become a problem, and that I almost have to be careful with what I say and how I say it. Um, because it's crazy to me that if you even question it, it almost turns into racism, which to me it's crazy because ethnically on my mom's side, technically I'm a Jew. Like, mom's side of the family, yes, I was. So if you know, and their whole ruling with that is if your mother, like if you're born on your mother's side, technically you are a Jew. Um, but I also think that's why the Bible had even said that it's like the circumcision of your heart is more important than of, you know, that. Like the belief in Christ is more important than the birthright aspect of it, because it's about belief. It's about realizing like he came back for all of us, and that even the people who were given the, blessing didn't always believe. They didn't believe in him. They went after their own desires. They went after over other gods, and like all I'm gonna say is I had like, what was it? Which book was it? It wasn't the Kabbalah. I read one of the other books. Or like I'd started reading it and I started realizing I was like, something's not right about this, man. Like, it's crazy. You could talk about Muslims. You could, like, as a Christian, you can talk about that. But if you start questioning some of the books and some of the beliefs that they had, it gets into a, oh yeah, dude. Hey, God bless you, man. Thanks for hopping in. Either way, yeah, I gotta get to start making some music instead of just talking about this, because that's also part of the problem. Is like you start getting into the rabbit hole, and it starts getting too deep, too quick. God bless you, man. Thanks for hopping in, Jose. Yeah, dude, I'll still be on. All right, now the stream it's showing me to people. Let's go, man. Of course, when I stop talking about it, that's when it shows me to people. Oh man. But I'll still be on. I'm usually up till like 12 or 1. What's good, y'all? All right, we're going to start making some noise. Start making some noise if you can hear me in the stream, if you can see what I'm doing. God bless you, man. I don't know why it just was not showing me on YouTube. Maybe they didn't like me talking about stuff that is real. All I'm saying is I'm noticing. All right, man. Mm. So, let me see. I honestly want to start in the key of G minor. Feeling that.